All right. I call the regular meeting of the Milliken Board of Trustees for January 10th, 2024 to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the acting town clerk please call roll?
Yes, Mayor. Trustee Beckman?
Here.
Trustee Lane?
Here.
Trustee Dean?
Here.
Trustee Meisner?
Here.
Trustee Wakeman?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Muted. There he is.
There he is.
Easy.
Okay. Thumbs up here. And Mayor Austin?
Here. Thank you. Does anyone have any additions or deletions to the agenda? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve.
Second.
Acting town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Do we have any citizens' comments, either in the room or on Zoom? Hearing none, we will move on to the meeting minutes. Is there any discussion or comments on the minutes of December 27th, 2023? Hearing none, I'll take a motion.
Move to approve the minutes. I second.
Acting town clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner?
Yes.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, next item is the town administrator's report. Administrator Powell.
Thank you, Mayor. Public Works staff has been really busy removing all the Christmas lights and garland from the downtown corridor. So that's all put away until next season. And also checking on what they have with the commercial company, what they have on special, so we can try to add to our display and get a little sturdier equipment out there, or decorations, if you will. They also repaired the bank at the Centennial Lake dock area, so they got that done this past week. Streets Director John Rabus and town engineer Brian Campbell started working on a 10-year roadway maintenance plan for the streets capital improvement projects. They're also reviewing the construction drawings for Weld County Road 23 3/4 before we advertise the project and put it out for bid. I attended the Weld County CDBG advisory meeting on January 3rd. This year we've received 6 applications for the funding that we received from HUD. 3 of those municipalities that submitted applications are new. They had not submitted for this funding before, so that was good to see. Personally here, I've been finishing up the end of the year staff evaluations, and so hopefully I'll be done with those on Friday. The new security cameras, weather permitting, will start being installed on January 16th. So that'll be good. They should be done if the schedule and the weather, there's no changes or nothing drastic, by mid-February.
Okay.
Community Development Director Pepper McClanahan and I attended the county commissioners meeting this morning, and what we mostly did was to ensure that the Levelland Ready Mix haul route would be continued by the commissioners, and the commissioners granted this request and rescheduled it to February 28th at 10 a.m.
How many times has that been rescheduled?
Well, it's been rescheduled, and it's not anything that Loveland Ready Mix has done. Part of the problem is when they went in with their preferred haul route. And the county, if I understand it correctly, the county really didn't particularly like that haul route. And so then they wanted to also look at the haul route turning left on the Highway 257. So that was another traffic impact study that had to be done. Then, because there was contention with the fact that there was multiple people who did not want that left onto Highway 257, one of the commissioners came up with a possible third haul route, which is turning right onto Highway 257 and then right onto Highway 60. So then another traffic impact study had to be done by Loveland Ready Mix. So it's been all of these. So now everything is done. My understanding is that Loveland Ready Mix has received all the comments back from, I believe, the planning department at the Weld County Planning Department on Friday, but that was not long enough for them to be able to review all the comments. Loveland Ready Mix. So this is why that continuance was.
Okay.
So, yes. It has been a long process.
Yes, it has.
And I just wanted to bring up, because I think it's kind of important and good for you and residents to know. So, we have been, due to chlorine residual in the levels, and Don, you can step in and help me with this if you would, not meeting what they needed to be. So we had to release a lot of water up near the Mad Russian area. And a lot of that happens because in the winter months, you aren't pulling as much from the system. So this chlorine residual, is it go too high?
No, it goes too low.
Too low, okay, and so anyway, we dumped over 900 and some thousand gallons of water in order to have it meet the requirements that were needed.
Don't you flush it out once every 2 weeks or?
We have different sites around town that we do have to flush, dead-end lines to
Yeah.
keep that chlorine residual up. But this was mainly to clear a mile between town and the interconnect to Greeley, and then another mile of 16-inch line, and then a mile of 52-inch or 54-inch line up to their tank. So it's about 700,000 gallons of water sitting in the pipe.
Wow.
And they came in at a real low chlorine residual because they had an issue from their Bellevue plant, which is miles before it gets to the tank. So we had to get that through the system.
Right.
So that we could maintain our 0.2 parts per million, which is required by the state.
There isn't anywhere that we could have put that for future non-pot use? No?
But the good news is because we are in discussion, so Don and Kyle Byerline that works in Don's department had started discussions with Eric Dial with the city of Greeley regarding this, and they did issue us a credit for 1 million gallons of water. So at least we received that back. It's unfortunate the water had to be dumped in the way it was, but we received, so our last water bill from them had an adjustment of over $6,000 on it. So,
Where was that dumped at?
It was flushed different sites between Mill Iron, because that's one of our dead-end lines.
Yep.
West Rock, right by 60 and 257.
Okay.
Those are the two main sites.
Okay, I was just curious because Mill Iron has a little reservoir. Could any of that been piped over there and dumped into their little reservoir?
No, it would soak into the ground before it could ever be used.
Oh, it just dawned.
Well,
just thought
there's
I'd
also
ask.
water rights issues. You have to be careful where you put water and what you use it for.
Okay. Okay.
and it has to be done in a hurry, more or less anyway, because you want the water that's coming into people's homes to be of good quality.
Yeah, this was over the course of about a week and a half.
Okay. I was just curious if I drive past that little reservoir every day,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I wonder if that
Well,
could have.
We've worked with companies that have done projects where they need to buy water from the town, and we'll direct them to those dead-end sites so that they're using the water, they purchase it from us for their job, and then it
Yeah.
helps us by keeping the chlorine residual out.
That's
This was
great to
just-
know, because I hadn't thought about that, but there are people that have to have the meters attached to the hydrants and they're
Right.
using it for whatever, and that makes a lot of sense to do it at the dead end, the points where you're gonna flush it anyway.
Yeah, we
Right.
talked about trying to use Public Works water truck to move the water, but you're talking, 3,000 gallons at a time, and we needed to unload almost 1 million. So
Wow.
it's not
Wow.
really,
Right, there's only certain hydrants we allow to be pulled from.
Is that one in Mill Iron one that you definitely tell them it's a great place to turn around for a semi-truck?
we don't usually sell water from that area because of the residents. Primarily, I want a semi driving down, trying to turn around at the end of their cul-de-sac, unless it's a project, a construction project there. The normal site is over by the truck parking off of Center Drive.
Okay. The Mill Iron wouldn't be a bad place because it's a nice place to turn around. There's no one down there. I don't know, I'm just saying, if you're gonna get rid of the water, you might as well use some of that too.
We have to consider the residents as well, though.
It just bother the mailman, and I can talk with him. I can deal with the mailman.
Well, it's an unusual circumstance, though.
But anyway, I did want to let you know about that and the fact that the city of Greeley was gracious enough to work with us on that. And they're looking into the issue with the chlorine residual. So, because it's coming out from their end into our water system, so.
Okay.
That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Good. Any questions from the board? All righty.
Thank you.
Thank you for your report.
You're welcome.
All right, we have 6 items on the consent agenda. Majority of these items are projects that were discussed in 2023 and budgeted as part of the 2024 budget that was approved in December. Items on the consent agenda is adoption of resolution number 24-01, a resolution establishing locations for posting. This is a standard consent agenda item from our town clerk, posting notices of board meetings. Next item is to authorize the mayor to sign a professional service agreement with Tate & Associates Incorporated. This is a very exciting project for $162,000 for the engineering of the Quentine Storm Crossing Project that will help us move storm water through town that comes from the south. Next item is to authorize the town administrator to purchase the crack seal material. This is part of our ongoing maintenance of our roads for $27,000. Authorize the town administrator to purchase a Freightliner 108 SD truck chassis for $126,000. That was discussed as part of our equipment needed for this year. Authorize the town administrator to purchase a dump bed, snowplow, and sander. Again, street maintenance for $233,000 budgeted for this year. And authorization of the town administrator to purchase a new Hustler mower. This is part of our equipment for our Parks Department, and we did budget the $15,750. I'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda?
Second?
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Dean?
Yes.
Trustee Miesner?
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman?
Yes.
Trustee Beckman?
Yes.
Trustee Lane?
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
Yes.
And Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. On our action agenda, we have a public hearing to consider approval of resolution number 24-02, approving the 2023 Milliken Comprehensive Plan and 3 Mile Plan. Presenting will be Pepper McClanahan, our Community Development Director. Since this is a public hearing, I am opening the public hearing at 6:54. Let
Mayor
me
and
correct that.
trustees.
It's 6:45 that I'm opening the public hearing.
Mayor and trustees, at your pleasure, we have Josh Kuntz from Halcyon Levine, who was our consultant on the project, to do a brief presentation to you before I present the staff report.
Thank you, Mayor and Board. Thanks for having me tonight. It really is an honor to be here at the end of a long project. And I just want to touch on a few things. Some of these things you've heard before, but just to go back to the purpose and aim of a comprehensive plan, this is established in the state statutes that a comprehensive plan should promote the community's vision, goals, objectives, and policies, and establish a process for orderly growth and development, both current and long-term needs, and provide a balance between the natural and built environment. And that's what the document that you all have in front of you aims to do. This has been about a 19-month process, start to finish, and we really have taken a comprehensive look at the town, gotten a lot of feedback from the public, local business owners, residents, elected and appointed officials. It's been a really good process, start to finish. This is truly an update to the town's 2016 comprehensive plan. It looks a little bit different, but it carries forward a lot of the policies and recommendations and direction from that document, brings it into 2023, updates the necessary data points where appropriate, and has new additions from what we heard from the community and current best planning practices. This really is a good foundation for decision-making for elected and appointed officials, new business owners, new incoming residents. If you want to know where the town is going in terms of its growth and development, this is the document to turn to and to help make the important decisions for the coming decades. Just to recap the timeline a little bit, we did kick this off. I mentioned about 19 months. We kicked this off in June of 2022 with the steering committee, and then went through the whole process from community outreach to an existing conditions memorandum, establishing vision and goals, preparing a future land use, which is sort of the centerpiece of a comprehensive plan, and then the core elements or chapters of the plan. And we tested those along the way with the steering committee, and that ended with the final steering committee meeting in November 2023 to review the full draft. December 20, we had a PC meeting, for Planning Commission meeting for recommendation for adoption. I participated in that virtually and took some questions, and that was a unanimous recommendation. And so that brings us here to tonight. And I just want to mention that there was great participation throughout, from the kickoff meetings to the key stakeholder interviews that we did, a program of key stakeholder interviews right at the outset, business workshop, visioning workshop, a booth that staff ran at Beef and Bean Day, and then a really well-attended community open house just late last year. Online, we had map.social, online mapping tool, an online questionnaire, a dedicated project website, postcards that were mailed to every resident in the community and in the urban growth area, and then DIY kits, do-it-yourself workshop kits available in both English and Spanish. And it really was just a process that went smoothly. And I think a lot of thanks for that process goes to consistent participation from a steering committee that was tuned in and was consistent throughout the process. Something that is really important to have. That committee guide the process start to finish. And then staff who, we really worked in lockstep with staff and made sure that we met all the requirements and the revisions, and it was really helpful to have such a good working relationship with town staff. So I guess with that concludes my presentation, but I'm happy to take any questions about the process or anything that we did over the past year and a half, a little over a year and a half.
Well, I will say that it seemed to move right on track, very well produced product, and I'm very happy with the results. Would like to get some comments from board members to see if there's any questions, starting with Trustee Beckman.
I don't have any questions, thank you.
Okay. Trustee Dean?
No questions.
Trustee Meisner?
No, it looked like it was pretty well presented and pretty comprehensive, so I don't have any questions.
Okay. Trustee Lane?
Thank you for all your work, and this is the first one that I've gone through, and as a fairly new trustee, so very well done, sir.
Trustee Wakeman?
No questions, thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich?
I have no questions.
Okay. I don't either. You were very thorough in your presentations throughout this process, so at this point, I need to see if there's any questions or concerns from the public. Anybody on Zoom? No public comment? So the time is 6:51, and I'll close the public comment. Is there any further discussion? I'm sorry, the public hearing.
Did Pepper want to make any kind of presentation?
Maybe just briefly, if that's all right.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
okay, thank you.
Apologies, Mayor and trustees. There are just a couple of probably statutory items that our town attorney would like us to cover. And one of which is that the Planning Commission conducted a public hearing for the plan on the 20th of December. There was no testimony from the public. The Planning Commission voted unanimously to adopt the 2023 Comprehensive Plan and 3 Mile Plan. And I want to note that the Comprehensive Plan is different than a master plan. It's an element of the master plan, so there are other pieces, and we just wanted to make sure that folks understood that. And the statute for a master plan of a municipality is advisory. Obviously, it's the job of the Planning Commission to adopt such a plan under the pertinent statutes, and under Section 2-7-201-20, subparagraph 1 of the Milliken Municipal Code, the Planning Commission is responsible to prepare and maintain, subject to periodic revision as necessary, a master plan described by state statutes. So with that, we presented in your packets an attested copy as required by state statutes for the comprehensive plan update. And thus, the board's responsibility is limited to approving the Planning Commission, what the Planning Commission has adopted. The plan was adopted again on the 20th of December. The information is in your packet, and we prepared a resolution for the board, which outlines all of the statutory steps that are required and how we complied with them. And so, short and sweet, happy to answer any questions.
All right, open discussion from the board for any questions. Any questions on Zoom? Okay, we're a
I'd like
lively
to
group
thank the
tonight.
board for all your time and effort and diligence in being at these meetings and participating, interacting with the public. It's a very comprehensive project. It takes a while to do this, and it's very important that we have as much community input as we had, so appreciate all of your time. Thank you.
And Mayor, if I might?
Yes.
Same thing, I appreciated Josh and his team working with us so well, but more than ever, I appreciate Pepper's effort in getting this plan through and on time, along with Josh, so that we have an update and on schedule, and probably, hopefully, won't need another one for another 4 years, so 5, okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll probably have to start it in 4, right?
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, it's a lengthy process.
So efforts were greatly appreciated. I think at this point, I will open it up for a motion.
I move to approve resolution number 24-02, approving the 2023 Milliken Comprehensive Plan update and the 3-mile plan.
I second?
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Abstain?
Trustee Lane,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
and Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, terrific. Great job. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, next item on the action agenda is consideration of possible action regarding case number 2022 CV 030770 filed in Weld County District Court. This is an executive session, so I will take a motion for the executive session.
I move that we enter executive session pursuant to section 24-6-402 4E of the Colorado Revised Statutes for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategies for negotiations, and instructing negotiators with respect to possible settlement of case number 2022 CV 030770, filed in Weld County District Court by the Town of Milliken, related to operation of the selenium treatment system at the town's reverse osmosis water treatment plant. Section 24-6-402 4C, for the purpose of considering matters pertaining to a mediation communication related to the same proceeding, which is confidential under Section 13-22-307 of the statutes, and Section 24-6-402 4B, for the purpose of receiving legal advice from town attorneys on specific legal questions related to the same proceeding.
I second?
Acting Town Clerk, please call for a vote.
Trustee Meisner,
Yes.
Trustee Wakeman,
Yes.
Trustee Dean,
Yes.
Trustee Beckman,
Yes.
Trustee Lane,
Yes?
Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich,
Yes.
and Mayor Austin.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. In the proceedings, executive session will be Town Administrator Cheryl Powell, Water Wastewater Director Don Stonebrink, Courtney Diller, Acting Town Clerk, Town Attorney Matthew Gould, Trustee Beckman, Trustee Wakeman, Trustee Lane, Trustee Meisner, Trustee Dean, Mayor Pro Tem Ehrlich, and myself. We will break for 5 minutes to clear the room.